That's the same boots I wear, normal regular boots.
Yeah. Are
Kind of.
water resistant?
Yeah.
So you can't stand in water without
No.
it soaking through.
That should be it. That's it? All right. Let's try this again.
Okay.
All right, guys. Sorry if we interrupted the feed. We actually were kind of certain that it wasn't projecting out there, and we went and confirmed that it probably is. So we'll see. It looks like you guys are coming on now. I see somebody getting in there. We are back.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the Seekins Precision booth, 10570 here at SHOT Show. If you are here, it's the second level up here. Again, I'm here with Romeo. If you missed us earlier, I'm going to go through all this again. I'm here with Romeo, Trident Defense. These guys do some really, really cool stuff with Glocks, modifications, and actually will be some other weapons later on. But they do some cool slide work, frame work, barrel work, Cerakote work, a lot of cool stuff. And I'm going to let Romeo tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so currently we're making, our specialty is our slides. Our slide cuts are really cool and unique to us. We do everything from stippling to trigger work. We make a custom trigger that's adjustable, and our triggers are hottest seller at the moment.
Okay.
We can't even keep them in stock. As soon as a batch is in, they're gone. And we do full-blown builds, and all of our builds are also fully sold out as well at the moment.
Okay.
But we should have more guns, full builds online soon.
Okay.
But yeah, our triggers are probably our hottest seller.
Well, not to pick on you, you mentioned production. What are you guys doing to fix that? Because if you got a product that's good and everybody's wanting to buy it, you need to make more.
Well, it's a good problem to have,
That's
right?
right, that's right.
We're adding more equipment. We're doubling the size or tripling the size of our new facility.
Nice.
We're growing into a brand new building, and it's going to have a huge showroom. And we're also going to have a simulator and a tactical range in the facility. So when you come to buy a gun from us, you can shoot it or demo a gun on site versus just not understanding what the gun shoots like before you buy it. You can actually shoot it before you buy it.
That's a nice concept. I mean, because a lot of people out there find out they didn't like the gun or it didn't fit them after they've already purchased the gun.
That's correct, and we want everybody to be happy.
I guess they could also try to see if they're wanting to get some modifications in a custom build, they can see what things they like on a particular gun before they pay for it and have that modification. Maybe they don't want that slick trigger. Maybe they don't want that type of slide cut or something like that. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Absolutely, you're correct. And we want to make sure that the customer's happy at the end of the day with whatever we build them. We want them to be fully satisfied. So making sure that the gun works for them is the key, and that's why we are putting in a range in our facility.
Okay, nice. Now, you guys are here at SHOT Show. You don't have a booth, but you do have a loose affiliation with somebody here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have a great relationship with a company called DS Arms. They've been in the business since the 80s. They have an FN, a FAL rifle that's their specialty, and that's what they sell.
Our viewers know about that rifle. There's 300,000 views on one of our videos on that rifle from DS Arms.
Wow, that's
so they're
great.
Familiar with
so
this
they're
company.
familiar with it. Great.
Right.
Yeah. So DS Arms, we've done a partnership deal with DS Arms where we build packages that's one of their custom rifles with one of our custom handguns,
nice.
And it's called a Centurion package, and that package has sold really well. It comes in various colors. The one we have right now is this bronze one, and this is true to the Centurion package.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a great seller. They put it in their showroom, and they've been flying off the shelves.
It's a good looking gun, and you guys can see they've even got your RMR cuts on top where you can actually put your RMR if you want to, but you can see the stippling work on it, the cuts on the slide, and just the custom designs on the slide. Very, very nice. I like the fiber optic on top too. Your mag well slightly flared a little bit, gives you a little bit of room to get in there. Nice work, Romeo. That's really, really nice right there.
Another thing I want to point out is that this RMR cover here is carbon fiber. Another product that we couldn't keep in stock, and they sell really quick. They're inexpensive, but they look great, and they have our logo in it, which is nice. But yeah, we just have a whole bunch of RMR covers just recently made.
Nice.
And they're not easy to make because it's a very dusty process cutting carbon fiber, as you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, what besides your triggers, what are hot sellers? In other words, you have different lines of your pistol. What are the ones people might be more interested in?
In terms of parts?
No, the actual full builds themselves. What kinds of things do you see that people gravitate to as far as I want this or I want that on my firearm?
Yeah, it varies with every individual. Everybody has their, their likes and their dislikes. But we've noticed that our Poseidon firearm has sold the best. All of our guns are named after Greek mythology. We have the Hades package, and then, but the Poseidon has been our #1 seller by far. It has the full cut through the slide. It's really lightweight, and it's our top of the line gun.
Very nice, very nice. Well, if somebody's interested, because you cannot at this point go to a store and buy one of these guns, where do they go and how do they do it?
That's correct. So you could buy it at Trident Defense.us.
TridentDefense.us.
.us, and you can do a custom build. We have a configuration on there where you can actually change parts on the gun. You can visually see it.
Okay.
It's a great tool.
Nice.
To use
kind
to
of a 3D
build
tool.
It is, and you can rotate the gun 360 degrees, so
nice.
you can see every aspect of it, so you understand what you're buying.
Yep.
And then if you want to buy any individual parts, you can look at them in blown-up version. So a la carte menus on there as well.
Nice.
And we're launching a new website to meet our store demand, our retail store demand for all the parts and stuff. So that's going to be launching in about a week or so.
Okay.
So you can check back then and take a look at all of our different parts.
Nice. We're excited to check it out. I'm excited about a lot of stuff you guys have. I have fired one of their pistols before, a couple of them actually. We have an older video about a year ago that we ran, and looking forward to getting my hands on some of the new products. Romeo, I appreciate you guys coming out and joining us, and looking forward to some of y'all's new products in 2018.
Thank you. Yeah, and I want to mention a couple other things if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely.
We have a couple of pistol shooters that are competing in 3-gun competitions that are sponsored by us. Pete Milionis, being one of the top shooters in the country right now, is using our gun to compete. You have to check him out. He's an amazing shooter, somebody to watch. He's been around for a long time. He's law enforcement in Chicago, SWAT team guy, but a very successful competition shooter, and he loves our product. We didn't have to pay him to love our product, which is cool. So
like
yeah.
that. Very cool. Well, we'll look for him. We'll Google him.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a question here. Oh, yeah, we also have, we also have a shooter called Matt Little that we sponsor as well, and he's competing with our product as well, so another really good shooter.
Nice, nice. Well, Romeo, thanks for coming on, and
Thank
you guys Google all this stuff. If you can't find it, Google their shooters that they have. Take a look at them. I'm sure they got videos out on YouTube also, so a nice place to go check them out. And again, check the TridentDefense.us, correct?
.us.
Okay, look forward to seeing more from you guys.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Would you grab the cup and the... I can leave
This
it.
thing is cool.
Yeah, it is. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I had to put the one out there that had... Thank you.
All right. You ready to do it?
I'm ready.
Guys, I know it's very informal, but we are rolling our guests in left and right, and we've got Dewey Akers from X Products, an old friend of ours. We have played with several of his toys that he sells, and we're excited to bring him on here and finally let you guys see some of the extra stuff that he does. Dewey, we've definitely got your can cannon. That's one of my favorites. A lot of your drum mags are awesome. We run them, we abuse them, and they all work. Tell us about some of the other stuff you have going on this year for SHOT Show.
Well, so I didn't bring any of the drum mags. Imagine
okay.
that, a drum company, I didn't bring any drum
That's
mags.
right.
all the new products, it's getting kind of confusing as to what to grab as you go.
That's okay.
So we have a lot of new products out for the can cannons. So first of all, we have a new version of the can cannon.
Okay.
So this, whoa, let's turn it right side up. Excuse me. So we've had so many people request sights, request ways to put attachments on it that we've gone to an extrusion with a Picatinny rail top and bottom. So we will make these available to the existing customers that have a can cannon, so they're not having to buy the entire upper all over again.
Yeah.
We'll sell the sleeve to them, but we will also make this available as a secondary product line. How does that help, or why does that help? We've got things like reels so that we can attach items like this, which we've also, a lot of customers have asked us about having a t-shirt launcher or some way for launching items, and you can't really put a t-shirt inside of there because of the gas burning the shirt or putting a wad, not getting good launch. So we've come out with a cup system that will have a line on it, will attach to the bottom of the pick rail, and then you'll be able to roll this back in, and the t-shirt will launch. Nice. Obviously, other items that we'll put in there as well. Also, and this should be available in March. Also in March, we will have balls that were basically a lacrosse ball, a nice dense, hard ball. I shot these in the desert on my way over the dam at Hoover, and I got my rangefinder was showing me 160 yards.
Wow!
So further than the cans ever went. So this is coming.
Now, just so the viewers know, this is an upper that you put on your standard AR-15, and you're shooting a blank through it.
I know, I'm kind of making some assumptions,
no,
aren't I,
okay,
that everybody
okay.
knows that the can cannon does.
That's okay.
So yes, it's a M4 upper, just your takedown pins. You put your bolt group and your charging handle from your existing AR-15 on, pin it right to your AR-15 lower, and you're in business, you're ready to go. You need blanks, they're M200 blanks. And
you guys sell those on your website also, right?
We have those all the time.
Yeah.
We sell them to distributors and dealers, so they should be available out there. If they can't find them, they can come to our website. We always have them.
Very cool.
Obviously, the balls, there's a new item. And for those that maybe haven't been, I don't know, throw things around here.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen this, I'm sure it's been out there enough. You've used them, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So the grappling hook, basically a line, what I recommend, and of course I shoved it down in there good, didn't I?
Yeah, you did a good job.
Too good a job. I'll get it out there later. I recommend putting a braided line to the outside so that you're not burning your rope, and then attached attached to that line.
Gotcha.
So that's basically the items. Most of the items. I mean, we have a spear, the topwater spear that we're working on, and that's been submitted to the ATF. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
What other items for the can cannon? Right now, that's the primary items.
Okay.
We're still working on a drone disablement device. You'll be the first ones to hear about that.
I'm excited about that. I can tell you my experience with the X products. For those out there that haven't seen our videos, one of the videos we did was we had a bunch of guys come out. They were actually in a band from Houston, and they came over. Just the timing was just right. We decided to go out to a skeet range, and we got several cases of Cokes, and we were putting 12-ounce Cokes in these things, and the cans were flying so fast that no one could hit the cans.
Right.
I think we did the math on it. It was like 80 miles an hour that the cans were flying. So to slow them down, we put 2 cans in there. The other can, the second can, would stick out of the end of the barrel of the can cannon. Well, we did that, and it slowed them down, but the recoil was so crazy because of the mass that you were shooting out. 2 12-ounce cans, you're shooting a more than 24-ounce projectile out, and they would just go wham, it would hit you in the shoulder. It was incredible. It was great for the shooters because they could hit the slower moving cans, but it was a son of a gun for the guy launching those cans.
So it's you're at about 175 feet per second. So for a guy that is a skeet shooter, experienced, you don't want to trail it.
Right.
You want to get right on that trigger.
That's right. That's exactly right.
It's a good idea to get a pull quickly, and usually with the cans they'll spin because they'll release the gas pressure, and then you can get a second shot off.
Right.
One other thing I didn't tell you about that's new for the can cannon, and that is we've finally got a rope launching system designed. We're working on the final stages. because we've been able to get 450 feet, which is, we were trying to exceed 300 feet with a floating device that will hold a line, but will also hold a pressure or a impact sensitive LED flasher.
Oh, nice.
So now for line launching into water, rescue, disabled vessel, this type of thing, it'll hit the water as you would have happen on a life vest in an airline.
Yeah.
Hit the water, the LED goes off, and they'll maintain a flash that would be able to be seen by a helicopter, basically.
I'm curious. Obviously, that's a great idea. Are you guys marketing this to Coast Guard and some of those other folks out there who do rescue work?
So we have been talking with them. That's a long process.
I bet. It's government. So.
And so the answer is yes. We'd like to see that as we've given it to be a replacement for the MK-87s.
Okay.
In the meantime, we feel there's a good commercial market that, and just for other purposes, for fast, rapid water rescue.
Right.
Obviously, one of the lines you're going to see, ActSafe, that we've added some ascenders. We're looking for ways to get lines further up to attach for power ascenders and things like that as well.
Now, out of curiosity, this is attached to a licensed firearm, right?
Correct.
Everything you do, does that have to be run by the ATF? Everything if it's going to be shot out of here, do they have to have a hand in it?
Well, no, but it's a good idea for us to know how they're going to treat a projectile that we might put in here.
Okay.
So at this point, we have been submitting items to them just for review, just for opinion letters, because early on, of course, we had the issue with people, the fear of chambering a live round, and that it being a short barrel shotgun as a result of that.
Yep.
So we put a pin in the chamber to stop that. Now it's no longer a firearm. Even the letter, interestingly enough, reads attached to an AR-15 lower. The cannon is not a firearm.
That's funny.
Strange.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how that works, but clearly it is a firearm because there's a trigger and it's a registered item, and but that is what the letter reads. So we just want to make sure that in advance of releasing them to the public that we are in fact, doing our due diligence, submitting the products for review and that type of thing.
The last thing you want is, even if you have a good track record with the ATF, the last thing you want is to have 10,000 products out there and all of a sudden the ATF makes a ruling after you've already disseminated all those products out there. So that's got to be tough, so you're doing it the right way.
We try to, everyone I think tries to do it the right way. We just have to deal with the bureaucracy that's there, and we do the best we can.
That's right. What other stuff you got? You got some cool new toys around here. I want to see what else you have.
Well, this one's been an awful lot of fun. Obviously, we had we see all that in there? We can. We had the XM42 initially, which this is a flamethrower.
Yeah.
2 states you cannot have this in, or should not have this in, would be New Jersey and California. They have restrictions.
That's shocking.
Yeah, sure. Oh, come on. Sure.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring a butane because I didn't want to be walking around with a butane in my hand, but basically a butane, pancake butane canister goes on here. You're going to open the valve only far enough to just get a little bit of butane out. The igniter's here. That gives you your pilot light.
Okay.
And then from there, might as well look at this side of it. So the switch is here. You can see it coming on. On the other one, you had to externally monitor and check, make sure you're maintaining your battery level. It's a rechargeable RC battery, but you had to maintain that. If it got down too low, obviously you damage the battery, you're done. And in the old system, you'd have to remove rivets to take the battery out to replace it. So a little bit more difficult. In this new system that we call modular, in this system, it's going to give you your reading. Not only is it going to give you a reading, but when the battery does start to get low, it's going to give a signal, and then it's going to shut you down when it reaches a certain level.
Gotcha.
Recharging it, there's a lever here. You pull this lever over, lift up, and your battery is right there. You're charging. You're just going to disconnect this, attach it to your charger, and that's how you charge it. Very simple. Very simple system.
Let's talk about the fuel. I know that's probably what a lot of people are interested in.
So one other thing I want to tell you about the quality here. I mean, IM Productions manufactures this. we rep this product for them. They manufacture, as you can see, a very nice billet product. It's some of the changes are they put in a pick rail here. They made it ambidextrous by going with the handle over the top instead of on one side or the other. This is M-lock, so you can put whatever you want to put on it, obviously. I think it's got enough all by itself, but if you want to put a mirror on there to watch yourself or something, you know. The tank is removable, so it just unscrews. It fills from the bottom.
Okay.
So this tank's got a fill at the bottom here. I guess I didn't get that attached. I'm sorry. This tank will fire for 30 seconds full on. You may be able to hear this.
Yeah.
So that's operating a fuel injection pump. Wow. So you will only get whatever fuel you use while you're triggering. Okay, so your igniter will operate, but only your fuel is only going to feed when you've got the pump on.
Right.
You'd ask me about fuel. So 30 seconds on this tank. There's a tank coming out that'll give you 60 seconds, and I wish I had it because it's a ton of fun. The backpack will give you 2.5 minutes. Maybe it's 3.5 minutes. I might be wrong about that. Might be 3.5, but it's at least 2.5 minutes. And that also takes all the weight off of the bottom here because it's a braided hose.
Gotcha.
Fuel. So you can run gas diesel mix, denatured alcohol. I recommend starting out, it really depends on altitude and temperature, but I recommend starting out at about a 50-50 blend of diesel and fuel and gasoline. And I'm over in Arizona. It runs, obviously your temperatures run hotter, even though elevation, 5,000 feet. I tend to run about 60% gas, 40% diesel.
Now, what would be the benefit of one versus the other? What matters? Heat?
Keeping the so if you're running more diesel, obviously you're going to get a little bit better runtime out of the diesel.
Okay.
You're also going to get a little bit more of a controllable, less hot flame. If you want to run for production purposes, visual, run all gasoline.
Really?
Yeah. If you're going to run hot, it's going to give you an incredible flame.
Wow.
If you want to run a little bit more controlled, I use these things for I have property up in Montana. I do slash burns with them. I used to walk around with a propane tank and a hose. Total pain in the neck.
Yeah.
And if things explode quickly on you, which they do, you've got a tank to get out of the way. You're typically tripping over the hose. With this thing, I can be 30 feet back, and I can put a fire at the bottom of my slash burn. And so applications, we believe that there's back burn applications with this that make sense. Some guys use it to remove snow and ice off their driveways, and just all kinds of fun things, I guess you might say.
Well, and obviously, anytime you look at something like this, the first thing you think of is safety. I see the O-rings on here. This thing is sealed off. You're not going to have fumes going wherever it's not supposed to be or anything like that.
No, and also there's valve in here that will not allow your flame to come back up the arm.
Nice.
So and having the igniter separate and removed with this triggering system, that fuel shuts off. You might get just a little bit of fuel after you release this, but pretty much if that pump isn't running, you're not pushing fuel.
Gotcha.
And having the tank underneath, interestingly enough, has created more, for me, a little bit more of a safe environment because it balances better.
Yeah.
Balances much better.
Very nice. I think you guys got another product.
We have one other product, and can I run over there and grab it?
Yeah, go grab it. In fact, take him your mic if you want him to talk on camera.
Okay. So you're going to meet Hubert here, and this is our newest product. It's an ascending system, power ascender, and I know a lot of people have been on it here at SHOT Show, and it is a ton of fun.
I'm going to go ride on it tomorrow. We'll have some video of it up there. That's going to be cool.
Hang on, let me get him.
Almost ready for you guys. No, he is. We're going to show that ascender real quick. That ascender real quick, and then Christy or Karen's going to come on.
All right, you want to mic him up while I get this?
Yep. All right, Hubert.
Sat down all day.
Put you on here. All right, just set that down right on the side there.
Okay.
Guys, got another cool thing from X Products that they're going to show us. They're unpacking it off camera over here. This is a little different. This is cool. Hubert, tell us about this. What are we looking at here?
So we have the AXSAFE ACX or TCX. This is the TCX tactical range of powered ascenders for climbing a rope. And these have been in development for about over 15 years.
Okay.
The manufacturer is a Swedish company, so the quality is very, very high. They're very innovative. Mm-hmm. It's one of the few ascenders that has very high specs for the price.
Yeah.
And we're selling these predominantly to the tactical market, so a lot of special forces and military law enforcement guys are using them globally. And we also have commercial and industrial versions for the lower end user, so bridge inspectors, people use it.
The way you would use this, and then not to cut you off, is if you have one of the cannon launchers and you launch a grappling hook.
Launch the grappling hook. They're testing the hook for various different loads. They launch the grappling hook. It's a great piece of equipment. The X Products can go into the AR lower. It's easy to set in. It's light. It's easy to take around. Fire that. This weighs about 25 pounds, but you can share parts of the equipment with other people, with your group, so you're not lifting the whole load. Fire the can, then use this to ascend the rope. Now this will ascend an unlimited amount of rope, approximately 600 feet for a 200-pound load. You do get a recharge as you descend, partial charge, so that extends the life. The battery is very easy to look at. You just press the button. Shows you the LED, you got the LEDs here, three greens is good. We normally recommend if you start to hit one green LED, it's better to change the battery out so you get stuck.
Okay.
The battery does discharge completely and you're stuck in midair. You do have a manual release here, which releases the brake under control and you come to the ground.
Got you.
Importantly, we have a wireless controller, which is great for retrieval. So the wireless controller will mate with the device via Bluetooth. And when it mates with the device, this green indicator for go will turn blue to show that it's got a match.
Okay.
And this will have a range of 450 feet, line of sight. Yeah. So it's awesome. You get it's easy to move. You can have as many wireless controllers for the unit as you need. You can have 10, 20, 30, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And you can have as many of these as you want with a bunch of wireless controllers. They won't interfere with each other.
Okay.
And it's pretty easy to link the controller in there too.
Yeah.
And this is just powered by USB. This is powered by a special charger. The battery comes off. So you can change it in midair.
Oh yeah.
And they have O-rings here. So this is a submersible model.
Yeah, I see that.
This model is will take a load of 310 pounds at a speed of 180 feet per minute, so it's really fast.
Wow.
I'll just be careful with my fingers here.
Yeah, I see you have a bandage on one.
That's a work thing, yeah, that's a work thing. So you can see it start to turn quickly.
Oh yeah.
So either up or down.
Very cool.
This model is got the rope guard. They all have the rope guards. They have a rigging plate here for other extra items you may need. Simple carabiner to go into the harness that you're wearing. Gets you in and out very quickly. Submersible. They can operate underwater for 4 hours at depths of 33 feet.
Okay.
They can have a buoyancy aid. It's a flotation bladder that gives it neutral buoyancy so it can float beside you.
Okay.
So the technician can put it on and get out of the water quickly. And there's a variety of different accessories available with the unit as well.
Yeah. Well, we're going to run over there tomorrow and take a look at it.
Sure.
And if I don't die from it, from falling off of it, I'm probably going to have to get my hands on one of these things. I'll be getting in touch with Dewey for. I've got the cannon already. I can shoot a grappling hook up there, and then that'll give me a chance to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah, so, yeah. We look forward to it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you guys over there tomorrow. Dewey, real quick, website, X Products. xproducts.com. Is that
Yeah, so xproducts.com.
okay? And they can everything we see here is going to be located on the website.
Absolutely.
Okay, and if you're here at the booth or at the SHOT Show tomorrow or today, the rest of the day today, what's the booth number?
Booth number is 16358.
16358 is the X Products booth. Went down there earlier. It's right near the corner where Rock Island Armory and Arms Corps is, so you can't miss them down there. Easy to see. Dewey, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Dewey, Hubert, thank you, man.
Thanks so much.
You guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, sorry man.
That's
Here,
okay.
walk off.
Who's next? Christy or Karen? Dewey, I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow.
Perfect.
Thank
We'll get
you.
you up on that thing.
Hey, what's up?
Thanks for reaching out. How you doing? Good.
Good.
Doing good, Chad. How are you doing? Thanks for sending something by.
Hey, Karen. Come on. Come sit down. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Have a seat, and I'll put this right on your jacket. Right, here we go.
Awesome.
And we're going to get right into it. Everything's live right now as we sit, so
Okay.
we're going to get rolling right now. We're going to talk a little bit about, guys, I'm here with Karen, by the way, Shoot Like a Girl. We've known Karen and Chrissy for quite some time now, and they have a cool process that they do to try to educate people, women, and who may not already be, I guess, involved in shooting sports somewhat.
Yeah,
and it's a cool process that makes them get interested without getting full bore into it. And I like the concept that you guys have with the trailer and all that, and I'll let you explain that a little bit more.
Yep, so we have a semi-tractor trailer and we drive all around the country. This year we had 3,003 women go through our program. Ladies, we go all different locations, normally at a retail store like Cabela's. Women come in, they can shoot a pistol, rifle, and a bow in a safe, controlled environment, even if it's their first time. And this year, only 27% of those women that went through were actually frequent shooters. All the
Really?
rest were infrequent or
Wow.
new shooters or inexperienced shooters. And so we really made a difference. And what's really remarkable is that they're buying guns. And that's like the message of the day, is that women
Absolutely.
are still buying guns.
To that point, I'm curious. Okay, you're seeing 27% that are already established gun owners.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that other number, you guys travel so much. When you see those faces for a second time, are they established shooters at that point? In other
Yeah.
words, have they joined up with the rest of us?
So yes, so 47% of the women that go through our trailer are more active in shooting sports as a result of having that experience
Very
than they
nice.
were previously. It's really exciting. We measure everything. You know, I retired from civil service in the Army 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And in the Army, if you can't measure it, you didn't do it.
Right.
And so we've always measured everything, and our data is really solid. And it is exciting to see that women's participation continues to grow, and it's not stopping, it's not slowing down. So as it seems like the industry might be in a decline in some areas, this segment is really propelling us forward, and I'm so thankful to be part of getting more women
Right,
involved.
right. And let's explain a little bit. You guys have the trailer. What do you do with it? You guys are all over the place.
Oh yeah. So this year we went to 24 locations. Literally, we circled the United States. We started in December of 16 in Las Vegas, and then we went to Huntsville, Alabama. We went to Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Oregon, Arizona.
That's a circle.
Oregon, Arizona, Montana, Kentucky, Wisconsin. I mean, we were all over the place. We literally 24 stops and circled the United States and then cut back through it. And this year we're excited to say that we have a Heartland tour. And so we start in Gonzales, Louisiana in February, and we're going to head straight up the middle of the United States. We're going to hit Houston, which is League City, and then Kansas City, Wichita, Nebraska. We're doing 2 stops in Nebraska, and then Wisconsin and Michigan. And Michigan and Wisconsin. So it's exciting. And that's just the first half of the year. So.
Well, that's cool. And you know what? The fact that you guys are doing this is important to a guy like me, because we do everything we can to introduce people in a safe way, a controlled way to firearms. And we just don't have that appeal. I mean, let's face it, a woman doesn't always want to hear how to do something from their boyfriend, their husband. When I go to the range, I'm going to be honest with you, the most unsafe positions I see are a guy or a husband or a boyfriend trying to tell his wife or his girlfriend how to shoot. And I'm like, I'm out of here. Because they're usually not good teachers. So you guys are doing a safe environment.
Well, it's easy to blame the guy, but I really don't think it's the guy. I think it's us too, because we want to please the men that we love, right? We want to do it right. We don't want them to correct us. And I'll tell you a story. So, and Todd, I love you. Please forgive me for the story.
Here we go, Todd.
So that's my husband. I married him, and he had horses, right? And
Okay.
so I wanted to learn to ride horses. So he was trying to teach me to ride, and he'd say, get your heels down, toes out. And I'd be like, they are down. He'd like, get your heels down, your toes out.
Yeah.
They are down. And then I get upset, and he gets upset. It doesn't work out. So I hired a trainer. I would get home from work, I would load my stock trailer up to the truck, I would get my horse, load her in, get my tack, load that in, drive to the arena, take the horse out, tack the horse up, all that nonsense, exercise my horse, get on my horse, go ride my horse. For a woman to say, get your heels down and your toes out, I'd be like, yes ma'am.
Yeah.
And it's not that she was saying anything different than my husband.
That's right.
But the desire to please was different, and the desire to, like, I am doing it right.
Yeah.
We so desperately want to please. And not every woman's like me, but that was my experience. And I think that right now, I mean, I don't want to go on a political topic, but men are getting a bad rap. And we at Shoot Like a Girl, we really respect all the men in the industry, because without you here, we've got a long way to go.
Right.
And we really appreciate that you guys are up there pulling us up and not pushing us down.
Right.
And so, I really respect that. And
Well, and you know what's kind of funny, and we had guests on yesterday that got very political, so I'm not
I don't
worried
wanna
about
do
that. No,
that.
we're
Yeah.
not. But I mean, my thing is, okay, if you got people talk about women being empowered. I grew up in a home with a very strong mom. My mom, she ran the show, and I've always see the women out there. And to me, when I've been to your trailer and I see them, some of them, and I don't want to use the word empower because I don't think it's that at all. The excitement whenever they're shooting, they've just never been exposed to it before.
Right.
And let's face it, their husbands may not shoot. They may
Right.
not be interested. Not everybody's interested in guns. So that's what I like was the excitement with you guys, because I see those ladies like, this is neat. They have that genuine smile on their face.
Right. It's so exciting, because what happens is they might be apprehensive. We find that women that don't shoot right now, they have a few fears. And part of it goes to what we were talking about with learning from loved ones. It's first off fear that they're going to get hurt or hurt someone they love, because let's face it, the media doesn't portray firearms as a safe activity, and we all know it is safe if you're safe. And then also they're afraid that they're going to fail, and they're afraid that they can't. And you take all those three fears, fear of failure, fear of being hurt, and fear of looking silly trying something new.
Yeah,
When that happens, it's hard. And so they walk in with those fears, and they walk out with no fears. They're confident, their heads are held high, they're excited, and our results really are showing that these women just love shooting. And we just did a survey, and what's really exciting is women might be buying firearms for personal protection as the motivation to buy, but what we found in our study is women are actually target shooting for fun more than they conceal carry, and more than more frequently than home protection.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so what they're finding is that they're going to the range, and they're learning that there's this entire lifestyle of people that are good-natured, good moral, good solid citizens, and they shoot and they love it. They have some kind of activity, and they're like, you know what, I can do this all the time. And so it becomes a whole new hobby for them.
Well, you guys have this big whirlwind tour that you're doing. Where would somebody want to go if they want to see where you're going to be, if they want to take part in this?
So we really love them to go to our Facebook page, which is SLG Inc. 2, INC2, or find us on shootlikeagirl.com, and our schedule's there.
We're going to send them your way. We'll post some links in the description below.
Awesome.
Karen, I appreciate you guys. You got something else?
Yeah.
You want to go one more minute? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, I was wrapping it up. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Karen, I
Yeah, we're
appreciate
good.
you hanging out with us.
You're
Kristen
welcome.
Crawford also. You guys, y'all been a lot of fun, and I appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Really
we'll see
love
you around.
Thanks so much. Thanks for what your guys are doing.
No,
too.
not a problem. Thank you, Karen. Good luck for you guys. We'll try to run down and see you guys
All right, cool.
tomorrow.
Thanks.
Hi, Christy. Take care.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you were
Oh,
saying.
no, that's okay. I was wrapping it up. I'm ready to go.
good.
We'll see you guys. Y'all be
See you
safe.
guys.
Hey, Roy.
Hey, man.
How you doing, man?
Hey, just at the end, don't try to shake my hand.
No, I won't.
All right.
Let's see here. All right. Hold on to that and just set it down next to you.
I'm just going to say that we developed two unique firearm suppression technologies.
We're already rolling, so you
Okay.
can wait till I ask you.
Okay.
we are as about alive as you get, Roy.
Oh, okay.
I'm here with Roy Couvillon with Katie Armament. They make Predator silencers. Roy, I'll put this on the floor so it doesn't fall down on you.
Okay.
Roy actually comes down, he's from the area where we are. He's an hour just east of us in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Again, I want to mention we're in the Seekins Precision booth 10570 if you are here at SHOT Show. Roy, tell us a little bit about your products, the suppressors, silencers, whatever nomenclature you want to use. Tell us about what you guys have and explain a little bit about what makes your product a little bit different than the other guy.
Okay, we developed two unique firearm suppression technologies, and then we developed devices around them. So you have on the rifle side some extremely accurate, and on the tactical side suppressors that don't really have much back pressure at all, which is important for close quarter shooting, lots of training for law enforcement, etc. On the rifle side, the cans were investigated by the BTG research group, which is a ballistics research company. They do ballistics research for the Department of Defense. Okay. They published a paper that says that if you shoot through our suppressors, you have significant reductions in yaw and drag over conventional design.
If you shoot through your
through mine,
suppressor,
yeah.
Okay.
So you shoot my suppressor, you have significant reductions in yaw and drag. And then we also have been able to demonstrate that for long distance shooting, when using a ballistics calculator, you do not have to tweak the ballistics coefficient. In other words, what you punch in is what you get.
Okay. So the suppressor's not doing anything different because it's there.
What the suppressor's doing is taking the gases away from the bullet such that the bullet emerges without a shroud of muzzle gas. It actually leaves about 3 inches ahead of the muzzle gases, which shouldn't be 3 miles.
So the gas is behind it, not affecting you.
Right. So you end up with a clean bullet coming right out of the muzzle.
Okay. I don't know if it's proprietary or whatever, but why does it do that? What makes it so? How come no one else has done this? How come it's you guys doing this?
Well, like I told you before, I bought an AR-15 because you still could, and I found out it was loud.
Right.
All right. And when I started looking at suppressors, I found that they were pretty much the same thing, and it was very confusing because they were different prices, but they didn't seem to do anything different.
Okay.
If you know my background, the bottom line is people come to me for solutions. I say, well, I'm going to make my own solution. And it's like I tell people, I thought I was going to save money and make my own suppressor. About $30,000 later, I thought I had to make a business out of it. You know.
Right.
So the bottom line is, I developed the design kept going in 2 different directions. One was precision rifle, and the other one was tactical. They're not the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just went ahead and developed 2 different technologies, and then they work very, very well. So much so that there are people who are trying, replacing their suppressors with mine.
Okay. Now you do a lot of work with law enforcement guys, and you told me a little bit about the stories. What do they like most about your suppressors?
On the tactical side, they like the fact that there's minimal to no back pressure, no blowback in the face. Okay, they're very small, they're lightweight, and you can take them apart and clean them. On the rifle side, they're not only do you have improved accuracy, improved bullet stability, but the recoil management is such that the target stays in glass the entire time, which is big because from a sportsman's perspective, if you're hunting hogs, you get an extra shot. If you're shooting PRS, you get a higher score. But from a professional perspective, did you get him or did he duck?
Right.
Okay. So that's very important to them. Muzzle flash. We don't get any muzzle flash. No first round flash. And that's important with our rifle suppressors. On our tactical suppressors, I do have a first round pop, first round flash, which is minimal. Okay. On the rifle side, it's very important, especially if you're shooting at night, because you don't want to lose your night vision with the muzzle flash, and you don't want to give up your position in the muzzle flash.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things.
Well, I know I've shot a couple of your suppressors. What's the ones that a lot of people are always talking about sound, and we're not going to get into sound. The size of them. Some people, I've got some suppressors that are huge, I've got some that are small. You guys have some real compact versions of some of your suppressors that work.
Right.
They're very effective. Is that the baffling system that allows you to make them a little bit smaller than your competitors might be?
No. What we do is actually separate the propellant from the gas flow.
Okay.
You can't treat it all as gas flow. And if you look at, everybody knows that solid propellant is going to leave. That's going to leave in a substantially straight forward motion. And the gas is going to propagate spherically, but contained within a device. I used that to actually separate the burning particles and move them away from the gas flow and let them burn slowly into their gas and then come out. And I don't have to manage that. But most importantly, as far as the ballistics, I separate the bullet from the gas, expanding gas, exploding gas environment,
Okay.
and then very, very deliberately remove the gases, the expanding gases from the bullet as it travels through that second stage that I have.
Okay.
And what's important in this case is the ratio between bullet diameter and the scrubber, or it's actually a muzzle brake inside of the device.
Okay.
So you've seen muzzle brakes from the outside. Our muzzle brake fits inside.
Okay.
And the diameter of the bullet to the diameter of the hole is important. Everybody knows the muzzle brakes, okay? But so we can actually replace our muzzle brake with the specific diameter for that rating of that suppressor.
Okay.
And if the ATF will allow me, which we're working on, we'll be able to provide multiple scrubbers for a given device, such that you can have a true multi-caliber suppressor.
And you guys are working on that, I assume, right?
I think we're going to get it, but you know, it's just the ATF.
You never know. Yeah, it's always up to somebody else. That's for sure.
And on our tactical side, I have a very small rimfire cannon. It's called the Lynx.
Okay.
All right, 5 inches long, weighs 7.5 ounces, and it's wonderfully quiet on 22. You shot that. It's just amazingly quiet. What a lot of people are surprised about is I can take that same suppressor, put it on a 16-inch AR, and go full auto with it until it's glowing red hot. Take it apart and clean it. Done. Okay. It's a beautiful recreational device.
Right.
A lot of the 3-gun shooters use it, in spite of the fact that the larger one, the Defender, is quieter. They like that one because it's quiet enough, and it's so small that when they're shooting 3-gun, it doesn't get in the way.
Right.
Now, the big brother to that is the Patriot Defender. And the Patriot Defender was designed for law enforcement. Matter of fact, it was designed specifically for use by the Department of State Anti-Terror Alliance program, and the curriculum writer and trainer, Mark Greneau, 23-year Navy SEAL, asked us to develop that specifically for that platform.
Okay.
He has since released me to allow me to sell that to the public, so we are just now allowing that for public use. It's 1.2 inches in diameter, 6 inches long, and I have it rated as 10-inch SPR used in full auto.
Okay.
It could go lower.
Yeah. Better be safe than sorry, right?
The professional length is 10 inch, and so we're sticking with that.
Okay.
It was designed for professional use. It's being sold for professional use, and we're just releasing it for consumer use.
Okay. All right. If somebody wants to take a look at your line of products and suppressors, where can they go?
Well, first of all, you just go to my website and look on the bottom, and it says dealers. Click dealers, and our dealer list is expanding.
What's the website?
Oh, I'm sorry, PredatorSilencers.com or AcadianArmament.com.
Okay.
But Predator Silencers is easy.
Okay.
We picked up another dealer today.
That's good. That's good. Well, we look forward to people going to the website, picking your products up, and look forward to seeing them in more stores lately. We're going to be doing some work with these guys and really running some of their products. So I'm really excited to do that. I've actually spent a little bit of range time with them already, and I'm excited because the product seems like a really durable, robust product, and that's effective. And that's important to me. So look for something probably in the next month or so on some products that we're going to be using with them. And ought to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. Roy, I appreciate you coming out and joining us.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Bye.
It's still rolling.
Kevin from USCCA. We're running about 5 minutes early ahead of time right now. So we've got about 4 or 5 minutes that we'll wait until Kevin shows up, and then we'll get into USCCA. Some of you guys have asked about some of the information on USCCA, and I guess I'll stand in front of the camera when I tell you all that. Some of you guys have asked us to compare USCCA and I think the NRA Guard, I forget what their system is called, and people have asked. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring Kevin on, and Kevin will explain a little bit about their side. I'm actually a member of USCCA for full disclosure, so I know a little bit about it, but we'll let him explain that. So again, we've got about maybe 3 or 4 minutes before Kevin should be on here. You can
doesn't matter.
It'll set on the floor actually. It's got a long enough cord. All right, hey guys, we got Tony here from UTM, and UTM Ultimate Training Munitions. I didn't know it was Ultimate. It sounds like a fighting organization too. But,
yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, that's true. It really is, right?
It kind of is a gunfight.
These guys make some really cool products that, for now, you probably have only heard of it through the military and military use. But I'm excited from a civilian standpoint that it's going to be something that we're going to be able to play with. And I say play in parentheses because obviously we don't play with guns, but it's going to be something that we're definitely going to be looking forward to bringing on legally on America and showing you guys. Explain a little bit about the product you guys have at UTM.
Sure. So UTM is training ammunition, and it's predominantly was used for military force-on-force, CQB, you know, kind of doing that paintball on steroids kind of thing.
Yep.
And so now what we're doing is we're actually giving it an opportunity to be out there in a commercial market so that they can do the target shooting at home, you know, draw from the holster, and basically you can change out your live firearm. I brought a couple of things here just to kind of explain it, but like for example, this is a Glock, so Glock 17, 22, 31, it's all the same.
So if I have a Glock 17 already and I want to use your product, you're going to tell me how I'm going to do it right here.
That's exactly right. So if you have a Glock 17 or 22, all you have to do is take your slide and barrel off, put ours on, and that's it, it's converted. And it's completely safe. The rounds are only going about 335 feet per second. So it's actually pretty cool. It's like I said, it's get a chance, there's no noise, you don't need hearing protection. It's only about 110 decibel.
And you can train with your weapon, the one you're already familiar with.
Exactly, and full function, slide lock back. You know, you're still loading regular magazines. Recoil, everything's exactly the same.
Right.
And you're punching targets if you want to. And again, you can do a lot of 360, 180, you can train at your house, in your backyard.
That is cool.
Completely safe.
The projectile itself, I know that's kind of the key, that everything is centered around. Explain that a little bit, the technology that goes into that. That's really, that's interesting to me.
Yeah, sure. So I'll show you the 5.56 or the 2.23 round, but it's the same exact technology. And so what it is you have a two-stage primer. Primer in the back actually cycles the gun. Ball flies forward, hits the forward primer, and that sends the projectile downrange. So we're looking at, you know, two primers, one controls recoil and one controls velocity.
One goes backwards, one goes forward.
Exactly right, exactly right. And that's why no matter what, all we do like on a rifle conversion, so say an AR platform, all you change out is your bolt carrier group. And it's cycled perfectly with this because you have a strong primer in the back and we keep a small one in the front so you control the velocity.
Nice. And you've got the blue mark on there so you know. I mean, let me ask you this. I mean, obviously from a safety standpoint, you're always fearful, what if somebody puts in a live round? Tell me about how you guys have mitigated that process.
So on all of our conversions, we have a live round lockout. So the live round lockout is on this one, on the bolt carrier, it's actually a 3mm offset or a rimfire primer. So if you put this bolt in the gun and you see the blue indicator, you always know that it won't fire live. Even if you put a round in there intentionally, because it's a rimfire, it changes to rimfire. On the pistols, it's a head spacing. So it will not go into battery. You put the live round in there, it's going to stay out of battery, so the trigger won't go.
Gotcha, gotcha. So there's no way these things are going to go off. Like you said, if you center fire versus rimfire, it physically can't happen.
Exactly right.
One thing can't touch the other thing, and that's good. I mean, because that's important. I mean, obviously, military is a little bit more of a controlled environment, but if civilians begin to use this, you know, and I'm going to say this because I don't want you to say it, you still have the dummy factor out there. Some people are going to be doing stupid things that they probably shouldn't do, or be careless with it. You know, I can see somebody piling all their stuff in the bag and not paying attention to it. So it makes sense to me that you're going to have some kind of a fail-safe method to protect the civilian. I mean, you want everybody to be safe doing this, because the whole purpose of doing this is to make everyone safer, because they're training under a safer environment.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the pistol side of it too. I mean, I think that's interesting that people can be able to use their pistols. You'd mentioned that Glocks. What other guns could you retrofit to fix this, or to modify this, to allow you to train with your own weapon?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different conversion kits, and you know, for example, you know, this is a Beretta 92. So all you do is change out the barrel. So it depends on the gun. We've got H&K compacts, we've got M&Ps, we've got a ton of different conversion kits that they can switch out their guns and actually train with. Most of our guns right now are full-size guns, and the smallest is like the Glock 19s and the compacts. We don't have a lot of the Shields and the smaller 380s because we just entered the market for the commercials. So this is pretty brand new, and most of our stuff's been military and law enforcement. Well, we've got 152 conversions. So it's quite a variety if you look at it.
One of the things, talking to one of your co-workers earlier today, that was interesting to me, because you always, when we talk to all these gun companies and different manufacturers, you always want to know what's different about them, because there's so many other people doing the same thing. The thing that intrigued me was the fact that the plastic in the barrel. That was interesting to me. That was an interesting point from a maintenance standpoint, and a barrel getting too hot. Can you describe that process and why your round is different and it doesn't do that?
Yeah, sure. The you know, one of the things, obviously, we get this question all the time is it going to foul up my gun? Because people are concerned. You know, they have their AR platform or whatever it is, or their pistol, and they want to make sure that there's not plastic scraped off in the barrel. So what we did was we actually came up with this plastic dome never touches the barrel. There's two driving bands that runs the rifling and spins and rotates just like a regular round. So it increases the accuracy because it travels like a regular round would travel. In addition to that, the plastic dome never touches, so it doesn't foul up your gun. It actually runs, and it's less detrimental to your rifle than live ammunition.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Well, and that's interesting because that's the only negative feedback I've ever heard about this type of ammunition system is the fact that you got to clean it every so often. You know,
Right.
get ready. Especially if you're running a lot of rounds through, it's going to get hot. It's going to melt. You're going to have plastic fouling all in there. That's an interesting process to me, and to me, puts you guys in a separate category as some of the other guys out there.
Yeah, we can run full belt-fed weapons, 400 rounds through it, and it won't raise the temperature on the barrel 3 degrees.
Really?
Yes. No heat whatsoever.
Now, what calibers do you have this in?
So we have it in 9mm and 40 cal, but we
Okay.
convert everything down to 9mm.
Okay.
So like for example, a Glock 17 and a 22 are on the same frame basically. So we convert out the barrel to a 9mm and it shoots either one.
Okay.
357, same thing.
Okay.
Converts down. Everything converts down to 9mm. You just have to use 9mm magazines for
Gotcha.
the ammunition. Then we have our 5.56 or 223, and we have 7.62.
Okay. When this starts moving into the civilian market, what do you see the practical use of it? What's the benefits of this type of training versus just live fire training?
Yeah, I think there's huge benefits. I mean, we've all been to the range where, you know, you're sitting on the range, you're trying to do reloads, or, you know, you can't do draws from the holster, you can't do positional stuff. And then also you have, everything is very linear, right? You're on the range, you're slow, steady squeeze, and this is the way you practice. But the reality of a gunfight and the reality of something that happens inside your house, you know, God forbid, or in your car, it's not very linear, right? It's going to be 360. The environment is going to be there. So a lot of people have never actually experienced how to draw from the holster in a seated position. Well, you wouldn't be able to do that on a range because they'd throw you off the range trying to do that, right? But with this, you can do it completely safe. So from an advanced perspective, you have much more realistic application, and you can do things that you would never be able to do or practice on a live range. The other part of that is that we have people that are intimidated sometimes by the firearms, intimidated by going to the range, the noise. And so with this, it's very, very non-intimidating because the noise factor is not there. They're getting a chance to pull the trigger. They're doing weapon manipulations and reloads and malfunctions and whatever, even just shooting normally, because you can do that because it's not going to be that loud bang. So small children, you know, new shooters, you know, so it's new shooters all the way to advanced shooters have advantages all the way around.
No, I could see a new shooter who was already, you know, you probably see it. I mean, if you're dealing with military, those guys are probably somewhat familiar with shooting a firearm already.
Right.
But I can see the average shooter, let's say I want to get somebody involved in shooting, but they're like, just, you know, they're squeamish about it. I could see taking around like this and, you know, shooting the wall or a curtain or something and saying, look, it's not going to do anything. Take this and, you know, let them hear. You don't have the sound of it, again, like you said, because that's intimidating.
Right.
The sound, no matter what, is always something that I think mentally scare somebody about the gun. They can shoot. You mentioned the Beretta 92. That's a very light, recoiling, easy gun to shoot, but still I've seen people be intimidated by it because it's a little loud. And you're thinking, come on, really? I mean, this thing is the lightest recoiling 9mm I've probably ever shot. So I could definitely see introducing somebody that's kind of on the fence, get them used to that, because I feel like once you get comfortable shooting a gun, then after that you're over everything else. There's only one thing you have to worry about, you know, not a million of them. So yeah, I see the advantages there in the civilian side of it. I think that's a big plus. You know, I see people being introduced to guns. We just had Shoot Like a Girl on here. I see that they're constantly dealing with people who have never held a gun, let alone fired one before.
No question.
And I could see people definitely seeing that as a huge advantage to say, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. Let's say I'm looking to buy something like this. Because everybody's going to ask. Let's say Glock 17, because that's such a popular gun. If I wanted to convert my Glock 17 to be able to shoot these rounds, what am I looking at cost?
Yeah, somewhere between $300 and $400 to convert your gun over, because it's a slide-in barrel.
Right.
But then if you get something that's like a 226 or a Beretta, it's just a barrel. It's just a couple $100.
Okay.
And then, you know, you got to buy the ammunition obviously from there. So it's training ammo.
Now your bolt carrier group on an AR-15, what are we looking at cost there?
I believe we're somewhere around $199, somewhere in there.
Relatively inexpensive on an AR-15.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
so you know, a live bolt carrier group will range in that area anyway.
Absolutely.
So, you know, but the value again, one fact is you could shoot in your own house.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
you don't have to pay range fees. You don't have to go, you know, no wear and tear on your gun. We've gone through probably 200,000 rounds on one rifle. Wow. So the wear and tear on your weapon is a lot less. So if you start thinking from that perspective, if you shoot a lot, it's also another value.
I could see somebody, and this is just something I'm thinking off the top of my head, somebody utilizing your product to use their own home as a shoot house, just in case somebody broke in.
Right.
What would I do? You know, how would I react or something like that? I mean, you can almost do some role playing in your own home to simulate somebody breaking in or whatever.
No
So, I mean,
question.
I definitely see some cool applications of something like that.
Yeah, and the other piece of that too is when you go back to what you were talking about, if you're training somebody and you try and take them to a live fire range, it's very difficult to talk to them.
Yeah.
It's very difficult
Yeah.
to stand next to them. It's very difficult to correct their, their stance, their trigger pull, their grip, all the things that you would need to do because you're stuffed in a little booth.
Yeah.
Whereas now you actually can take them, you go in your garage, you go somewhere safe,
Yep.
you put them into the UTM system, and now you're standing right next to them and you're whispering and you're talking to them and you're
Yeah.
saying, and they can hear it because they don't need hearing protection. So think of the value of how it would be to train somebody else
Yep.
in addition to, training yourself. But now you can actually introduce people to it. So
Well, and let's be real here. You're safer as the trainer also.
no question.
There's no chance of you
somebody
getting
makes a
shot.
mistake, it's not going to be bad.
Absolutely, because if this person's touching that gun for the first time and they shoot and go bang and look at it like that,
No doubt.
you're standing right here. So
No doubt about
I
it.
definitely see a lot of benefits in that. If somebody wants to learn more about your products, where do they go to do that?
UTM Worldwide.
Okay.
Just go to utmworldwide.com and you should
Okay.
be able to pull up whatever information you need.
Okay. And Tony, what is your booth number for anybody that's watching that's here at SHOT Show? Where would they catch you guys?
6503 down in the law enforcement section.
Okay, sounds good. Tony, appreciate it, man. Talk
Thanks.
to you soon.
Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. had Kevin from USCCA that was supposed to come down. I haven't seen him, so to not leave you guys waiting, we're going to go ahead and try to wrap this up. Got a few things I want to talk about real quick. We've got you guys that kind of follow us, you'll know what I'm talking about, but with the whole issue that was out there on the bump fire stocks, which, well, are we tied to bump fire stocks? It's the craziest thing that we're even tied to them like this. We put out our video right after that Las Vegas shooting, and video got 1.4 million views on it. And because so many liberals were looking at the video and didn't approve of it, even though all it did was say, what is a bump fire stock? That was literally the title of the video, is one is a bump fire stock. And we just showed, all right, this is what it does. And we educated so many people, and the video was posted by Washington Post, NPR, Huffington Post, Time Magazine, CBS, Vice News on HBO actually ripped it off. And I say ripped it off because they used it on HBO without giving us, without asking our permission. And they did credit us in the HBO special with our name, Legally Owned America, out there, but they didn't even ask our permission. But nevertheless, these were a lot of liberal institutions that were using our video to educate their own people. And I'm not saying they liked it, but they were educating their own people with it. And then YouTube all of a sudden decides that we're wrong because liberals are dinging it, and they pulled the video off. They yanked the video, they deleted the video. Supposedly they deleted it. We're proof that they don't really delete them. When they tell you they delete them, they stay out there in la la land, because they slapped us on the wrist. This was back in, I believe, October of 30th maybe when it happened. And they told us that they deleted our video, our bump fire stock video, and they said that as our punishment for being bad boys, that we were not going to be allowed to live stream for 3 months, which was supposed to end on January 30th. Well, I started sending appeal letters to them, letting them know that this was not right, and this was an informative video. This was not showing people what to do with one, how to use one. It was simply describing what they do. And I explained to them that their own liberal friends in the media were using that video, and that they were responsible for taking that video and pulling it off, and that all these people had broken links on their own websites. Well, they have since reinstated the video. We found this out 2 days ago, so they gave it back to us. So that's something that, again, we're kind of tied to that as far as that goes. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, as most of you know, the ATF announced that they would be putting out the ability for the Americans, for citizens, to go in there and make their own cases in terms of bump fire stocks and rate increasing devices until today, Thursday. I think it's the 25th is today? Yeah, January 25th is today. Today is the cutoff date for those opinions from the public in terms of that bump fire stock and the rate increasing devices. And a lot of people were encouraging other people to go to the ATF's website and give their own opinions, and I think that's very, very important to do that. But where I had a problem with the whole process was the very fact that that's not the ATF's job to legislate. That's our elected officials. It's their job. So we put together a petition from Legally Owned America that it was a petition that sent the wording of why we think it's not right that the ATF is being given the power to legislate when it's not their power. It's Congress's, it's the president's, it's theirs to legislate. Well, it's Congress's to legislate, it's the president's to put it into law. And we had a real issue with that, the fact that, they were just dumping that off, almost to just be scared of it, to not have to actually tackle kind of a tough topic, something that they just want to stay away from. So hey, let's let the ATF deal with it. So we started a petition that's going to go to Donald Trump, Mike Pence, Attorney General Sessions, and every member of Congress that will make them do their job. We're trying to tell them, look, we recognize that it's your job to do this. This is not the ATF's job. While we still encourage you to go today to go ahead and have the ATF know what your thoughts are on rate increasing devices and bump fire stocks, that's ending today, but the petition is open. It's staying open. Anytime we have activity on that petition is going to go to, again, all the members of Congress, Attorney General Sessions, Mike Pence, and Donald Trump, letting them know we do not think this is right that you're pushing this off on the ATF. We want you to do your job. Assume your own responsibility instead of putting it off on somebody else just because it's a difficult situation and topic. So that's still out there. We want to make sure that you guys know that that doesn't end today. Our petition doesn't end today. Please share the petition. You can go to legallyownedamerica.com. You can find that petition. We'll share it. You'll see it on any of our social media sites out there. And you can go out there and definitely get the word out. Send it to friends, family, and all that. And let's get the activity. Let's let Congress and the President, the Vice President, and the Attorney General know that, hey, we're aware that you guys are trying to shun your own responsibility, and we want you to take ownership of your own responsibility. So that's really important that you keep doing that. We also have a pretty cool little thing that we're doing now. I have a book that was written this week You can find this at 2avault.com. Again, 2avault.com. The topic of the book, or the title, is Gun Control, 101 Reasons Why It's Good for America, or 101 Reasons It's Good for America. And I know what you're thinking. There are no reasons why it's good. Why would you write a book like that? Well, the book actually has 101 blank pages in it. And then the very last page, one of the last pages, it's the source material for all of my research to get the 101 reasons. It's the Second Amendment. So this is kind of a conversation book, something that's kind of cool that you can give to people that might be on the fence, people that may not understand, and try to be, I know it's kind of a smart aleck way to tell them, kind of a sarcastic way to tell them, but it's a way of letting them know that these are constitutional rights and there are no legitimate reasons why gun control is good for America. There are none. That's why there's 101 blank pages here. And we're selling a lot of these books. If you go to 2avault.com, they're out there. The cool thing is, and we're still working with talking to two different organizations, we're going to be sending a portion of our proceeds to an organization that's going to aid in, it's going to assist veterans. Again, I can't tell you the name because we haven't decided which one yet. We're talking to two different ones, and hopefully we'll know that within the next week, and we'll know where the portion of those proceeds are actually going to go, but it will be for a veteran-linked organization out there to assist them or their families, and we've nailed it down to 2, so we should know that very, very soon. I think we're going to wrap things up now. Chad's been here helping me do this. He and I have been here all week. If you are out and about at SHOT Show, look for me or Chad and holler at us. We got patches to give out. Really cool patches here. If you guys are out and about, we'd love to give you one and hook you guys up. I'd love to meet people out there that are friends of ours and connect with us online, so definitely check us out. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Again, we're at the Seekins Precision booth. It's 10570 if you are here in Las Vegas, and we encourage you to come by the Seekins booth and check them out. They have some really cool products up here, a beautiful new precision rifle over here you guys definitely need to get in your hands and take a look at. So we're going to wrap it up. Go to legallyonamerika.com if you have any questions about anything. We will catch you guys again.